Hello there, Eddie Mercado here with BloodyElbow.com, and today I will be speaking with Mr. Danger Zone himself, Mitch Clarke. Now, Mitch Clarke is set to face Alex White at UFC 215 on September 9th. That will go down in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, which is not far from Mitch Clarke's birthplace of Saskatoon. So let's give Mitch a call and find out what he's been up to since his last fight. He's had about a year off, a little over a year. Let's find out what he has in store for Alex White and maybe what his future plans are for the sport.
Hello.
Mr. Danger Zone himself, Mitch Clarke. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Thank you so much for taking out the time once again. Now, you are currently 11-4 in your professional mixed martial arts journey, and you're heading into your 7th UFC fight. How are things?
They're good, man. I'm down in Albuquerque, so it's as good as the training's amazing, but Albuquerque itself is, when I come from, Canada, it's a little bit different. It's a little bit of a culture shock.
Yeah, man, so it's been a little over a year since we saw you in the octagon last. What have you been doing in this time off to keep yourself busy?
I've been teaching a lot, training. After I recovered from my knee injury, I got my black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you. And just teaching, training lots, and I was running a business, and now, just working on just being a well-rounded human, doing my best.
I dig it. I definitely dig it. Now, the last time we saw you, you took on Joseph Duffy, and losses happen.
Kinda.
Everybody goes through it. It only lasted 25 seconds. You got hit with the right hand. He ultimately took your back, found a rear naked choke. It happens. What was your thoughts on the whole fight itself?
It was a super. It was just kind of, it sucked a lot because I trained super hard and I was in really good shape, and I got clipped. And one of my coaches brought, you get clipped in every fight, and it's unfortunately it's part of my MO. But when I went to take a step, I could just feel my knee pop in a couple places. That's why afterward I had to be carried out of the cage. I went to lift my right leg when I was down, and I was like, half my leg isn't moving. I thought my ACL was gone. And then in all honesty, and usually fighters don't talk about this, but it's almost one of the most terrifying moments, at least for me, being there under, a tremendous athlete and fighter in Joe Duffy, and you can't use your leg. And then I just tried to move. He took my back, softened me up, crushed my neck, crushed my throat, and that was all she wrote. It's unfortunate. I was prepared for a much better performance for that. Unfortunately, things like this happen. And for me, it's just about moving on, and then that doesn't define me. That performance doesn't define my career. And you always want redos, but you don't get those. You don't get those in life, unfortunately. So it sucks. But all power to Joe Duffy.
Absolutely, part of the game. But it is mentally tough on athletes when they do lose. What are some of the things you do to try to move past that and kind of not forget, but get past it, learn from it, and get ready to get back out there again?
I'm very fortunate. I have access to a sports psychologist, and that made a big difference. I think the biggest thing, though, has been changing who I surround myself with in my life in terms of keeping more positive people in my life. And it's very easy. It's a lot easier to be negative, especially nowadays. It's easier to take the negative route, and I feel like it's a lot harder to stay positive at all times and be a positive person and surround yourself with positive people. And I'm very fortunate to have, so many positive people in my life, and it's just trying to spin things in a more positive thing, move forward from challenges, and just overall, as I was talking about being a more well-rounded human, that includes fighting, but training, but day-to-day stuff too.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, what would you say was the big takeaway? Everyone says they learn more from losses than they do wins. What was the big lesson learned here for you?
For me, it's probably more so the takeaway was probably the positivity. That if you take a look at a lot of my other fights where I've had a couple losses, I came back and I had big wins. For me, sometimes you gotta go to the brink of destruction and really earn redemption, and I think that's really what's in line for me, it's just about I love fighting, and I love, because I could have just ended on that, what I mean? For me, it's about continuing forward and enjoying my life, and fighting is part of enjoying my life.
Awesome. I definitely respect it. Now, moving forward, you're headed to UFC 215, which is going to be in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, which is about 5 hours from your birthplace of Saskatoon. Are you stoked to return to your roots, so to speak?
Yeah, I had a lot of my pro fights were in Edmonton when I was first getting going. So I'm very happy to be on such a great card, and I think it's a tremendous opportunity. Unfortunately, there's not more Edmonton fighters on there. I feel like they're missing out on guys like Sheldon Westcott and even some of the other guys that are on the way up. There's a lot of really good BC fighters, but Alberta has some great guys on there. I'm happy to be on there. So I think it's a tremendous opportunity. They originally wanted to put me on the Pittsburgh card, which is a week later. So I kind of had a little bit of a temper tantrum, and they finally put me on the card, and I feel very fortunate.
Hey, they say the squeaky wheel gets the grease, right?
Very true. Unfortunately, in the way the sport's going, to just up apart from the pack, you gotta be heard.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, so the fights in Edmonton, you had a lot of fights in Edmonton. Bret the Hitman Hart isn't, his stomping grounds aren't too far from there. I gotta ask, were you a fan of the Hitman growing up?
Yeah, I guess I used to live beside his mother-in-law when I lived in Calgary when I was super young.
Oh wow!
Big, and I like old retro pro wrestling, and I was a big Hitman fan. Even when we switched to WCW, other than that, I gotta love the Hitman Hart. I hope his health and everything is going well, and hopefully maybe he'll make it to Rogers Place.
Yeah, that would definitely be awesome. And perhaps there'll be a sharpshooter that ends the match. Maybe.
I'll try my hardest.
Awesome, man. Well, so your opponent, Alex White, he's 11-3, somewhat of a generalist. He's pretty decent everywhere. What are your thoughts on him in the stylistic matchup?
I think it's a good stylistic matchup for me. He's had trouble with the big, strong grapplers. Tony Martin kind of sets him stuff. I also got to take a look at that. He's obviously, because he's well-rounded, he's kind of shored up that part in his game. He's good at drawing guys into a slugfest. So the big thing is not to let him get going in that direction. As you said, he's good. He's also, I think he's going to be a little bit smaller. He's taller than me, but 155 guys are pretty big. I'm a big 155er, and I think it's a good matchup. He's tough. I'm tough. We're both gritty. I think I think it has potential to have a really good fight. Hopefully a fight of the night. Both of us like bonuses, I think. So, the big thing is just work my butt off and get in there and then do my thing.
What would you say is the path of least resistance? Would it be the ground game? As you said, you saw him in the Tony Martin fight struggle a little bit.
But he was getting off some really good check right hooks. He's scrappy, wrestle. His jiu-jitsu from his guard is good because he's long. That's been the path of least resistance, just in terms of because he feels so comfortable. That zone where we're about to have to. So at the same time, you said he's a generalist. He's kind of good everywhere. So for me, it's about me getting going on what I want to do and not letting him kind of get his game off, which is that 50-50 brawl, which I have been known for kind of getting drawn into. But at the same time, I think it's going to be kind of all over the place, honestly.
Okay, fair enough. Now, in his fight with Tony Martin, Martin had him up against the cage, and White threw a knee and actually shattered the cup of Martin, and Martin had to take a timeout and find a new cup and put it in. Are you bringing a spare cup with you to the octagon?
I'm now. Shit. I didn't know about that. I'm fortunate. I have the Diamond Cup, which I remember John McGuire kneed me right at the pipe pretty hard. And of course the arrow, but at the same time, it didn't leave that tingling where your kidneys hurt later. So, more than anything, I think it was just he's trying to get a knee off, just trying to do the thing. It's definitely unfortunate for Tony Martin, but I always have an extra cup with me just in case.
Okay, good to know, good to know. Now, you're training at Jackson Wink, of course. How is your camp going thus far?
Really good. It's such a great place for training, and just in terms of, I have access to so many great coaches, so many great training partners, people who can mimic fighters, guys who can push me, motivate me, make me better. And the facility is great. And, I feel very fortunate. Also, I have access to elite orthotherapy with Dr. Bo Hightower. If you ever get a chance, go on his Instagram. The dude has so much knowledge. He's amazing. But, I'm at elevation as well, which I think, number one, makes the first part of the camp super crummy. But after that, you feel better. I'm very fortunate where I train with the people I train, and I love it.
Awesome. And how do you see this particular fight playing out? Is it going to finish inside the distance, go the full 15?
There's definitely the potential for it to go the full 15. I'm sure he's ready to go 15, as am I. But I could see it ending early. That's what I'm aiming for. We don't get paid by the hour, so. If I can end it early, I'm definitely looking to.
Okay. Now, I have to ask about this. Teammate of yours, Jon Jones, WTF?
I have to take the stance also because he's a teammate. But at the same time, we don't know all the details. And until everything, the B sample or whatever, it's such an obscure thing, too, when I was looking at it, at what he's being what they're accusing him of. I don't really know enough about PEDs, especially with something that, was used in the 1960s by the East Germans. So it's so obscure. I really know nothing about it. But I think, as we were talking earlier about being more positive, it's really easy to jump and to react right away. For me, I'm going to stand by him until, anything says otherwise. I watched that fight. It was an amazing fight between him and DC, and I'm hoping it was just a false positive or something. I hope the best for Jon, and I feel like I have to say is let's you're innocent until you're proven guilty, and I think it's just easier to guilty. Yeah, unfortunately, I disagree. He trains his butt off, and I hope nothing but the best for him.
Yeah, there's something to be said for due process, that's for sure. So, for the sake of just everybody involved in the sport itself, I hope this is one big misunderstanding. But we'll see. We'll definitely see.
We will.
Real quick, Conor McGregor or Floyd Mayweather, who takes it?
Actually, I got Floyd, but I got him by decision.
Okay.
So everyone's picking for him to demolish him. I think it's going to be tougher to demolish Conor than what they think. And I think Conor can win a couple rounds for sure. But Floyd has that pedigree. I'm interested.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited for it. I just want to see what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Who knows?
No one knows,
right? Okay, well, what would be next for Mitch Clarke? You got your eyes set on anything in particular? What are some of your goals that are on the horizon?
Right now, I'm just kind of looking at September 9th and that. But I want to compete more. I want to compete in Nogi Worlds for Jiu-Jitsu. I want to be more active. So for me, that would be a big thing. And I just want to enjoy my life. I want to get a puppy and fucking hang out with my girlfriend and watch retro cartoons. All the good things. Make chicken parm pizza. All the good stuff.
That is the dream. That is definitely the dream. Absolutely. Well, who are some of your sponsors or anybody helping you out on your journey that you want to give a shout out to?
Thank you very much. Virus International. They've been, Virus. They make the best performance stuff. You Play I Fight is a company that's been on board for me. I just got an awesome package.
Giggity,
exactly. But Legion Supplements has been a huge part of this. Also, I got to send a big shout out to Jackson Wink Nutrition, Dr. Anita Preet. She's amazing, and Barlean's Nutrition. They kind of made me kind of relook at how I look at supplementation and how to feed my body properly. The Clinch Fight Shop, damage control mouth guards, and Mammoth Beard Company is another one. They have some great gear. So if you get a chance, check them out.
Girlfriend.
Oh yeah. Well, she's not a sponsor, but
she's helping you on your journey.
She's helping me on my journey. I can't wait to see her again when I'm back in town. I love her a whole bunch, and I'm very blessed, and I don't use that term too often. I'm very blessed just in terms of I have so many good people behind me that I just want to say thank you to all those people behind me.
Awesome. Now, for the one or two people who aren't already following you on your journey, how can they reach you or get a hold of you or come along with you?
So if you take a look at all of it, my fan page on Facebook, and Facebook is Mitch Clarke MMA, Twitter's Mitch Clarke MMA, Instagram's Mitch Clarke MMA, and Snapchat, Mitch Clarke MMA. I don't snap very often just because usually I just watch my friends act like idiots.
Absolutely. Well, Mitch Clarke, thank you so much for taking out the time. Alex White is in your crosshairs, UFC 215, Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, September 9th. Best of luck to you, sir.
Thank you for having me.
So there you have it. Danger Zone himself, Mitch Clarke, set to take on Alex White at UFC 215, going down in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada on September 9th. Go check that out. In the meantime, you can read me over at bloodyelbow.com. You can follow me on Twitter at @Mercado. If you like this interview, subscribe to my channel right there. Subscribe to Bloody Elbow's YouTube channel right here. Check out these interviews right there. Now go be a good person.